Alright, UFC 288 fight week is here, and today I'm going to be making a prediction. Aljamain, Sterling, Henry Cejudo. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going to be breaking down their altercations, quote unquote, that just happened today, reacting to it. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. I'm going to be breaking down a few of the other fights, and that's going to come out rather soon, so tune in for that. But how do I think one of these two can win? What do I think the game plan is for these two? Will this be a close fight? I'm going to answer all these questions and more. Thank you guys for watching, and let's just get into this. Alright, you know it's a good day when we have a sponsor. The sponsor of today's video is actually a sponsor I'm super excited to work with is Aret. Aret is a streetwear brand from the UK that has designs inspired by mixed martial arts. They have designs inspired by fighters like Darren Till, Paddy Pimblett, and so much more. The people over there were nice enough to send me a hoodie of my own. As you guys could see, you know, it says kill everybody. Like, seriously, I had no idea what these hoodies were gonna look like, but I was insanely surprised. These hoodies look dope as hell. Look, if you guys want to go check out their designs, which I really suggest you guys do, go hit the link in the description and use code JACK10 to get 10% off of your order. That means you're gonna help me as well as help yourself, because you're gonna get some dope ass merch while also getting a massive discount. But let's just get back into the video. Alright, Aljamain, Sterling, Henry Cejudo. Now, these guys are true contenders for maybe the greatest bantamweights of all time. And Aljamain Sterling is, yes, kind of new to the championship reign. But I generally do think if he beats Henry Cejudo, we are talking about Aljamain Sterling as potentially being the greatest bantamweight of all time. Now, personally, I would still probably put Dominic Cruz over Aljamain, even with a win over Cejudo. But we'll see how he beats Cejudo. It's all very complicated. We're going to judge it after the fight. But I do think that there's a potential for people to start saying, hey, Aljo might be the greatest bantamweight. I mean, when you look at his resume, I mean, he beat Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen. Yes, TJ Dillashaw was injured, but he also has wins over Pedro Munoz. And then when you look at Henry Cejudo, the guy was a double champion. Started off at flyweight as a pretty small bantamweight, moves up in weight and beats the likes of Marlon Moraes, Dominic Cruz. Henry Cejudo was also an Olympic champion. This is a very good matchup, and yes, well, I don't think that these are necessarily the biggest names to casual fans. I do think that the winner of this can start becoming that big name. Like, this is a perfect fight for both guys because yes, Henry Cejudo is probably a bigger name than Aljamain Sterling right now, but I can imagine that changing if something crazy happens. Like, imagine Aljamain just knocks him out cold. I'm gonna break down the possibility of that happening, but first let's take a look at a few things. Alright, well, first of all, guys, if you guys don't know, Aljamain Sterling, Henry Cejudo ran into each other yesterday at the Fighter Hotel, it seems like, and there was kind of a weird interaction. I saw some people memeing it a little bit. I'm gonna do a reaction to it. I didn't really watch it, so let's see what happened in this video. Look, alright, you can see Henry Cejudo, you know, he looks like he just shit his pants. Like, I mean, I would shit myself if I saw Aljamain. Just kidding. I've seen Aljamain. I've interviewed Aljamain. Go check it out in the corner.
I'm gonna say hello before, you know.
Okay.
Handle business.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
What was that face from Henry Cejudo? I mean, Henry Cejudo just looks like a scared little boy. I mean, I am actually a big fan of Henry Cejudo. I actually do watch his YouTube channel quite a lot, and I think he's definitely one of the smartest minds in the fight game right now. But he just like shook up, and honestly, you can't really take too much away. Like, let's be real, this is a pretty awkward confrontation no matter what. Even if you're a tough guy, it's like, yo, the guy that you're about to fight in less than a week's time just walks in the room, shakes your hand. Like, what are you really supposed to say to the guy?
Because I'm ready.
I hope so.
I'm ready.
It's gonna be fun.
No, I'm ready.
And I do appreciate it. Seriously. On a serious note, not the whole. So I didn't think you were serious, but I'm glad to see that you are.
I am. This has been a good camp for me.
Well, Aljamain is saying here, look, I didn't really think you were going to be serious. I didn't think you were going to come back, but it looks like you are, in respect to you. And a lot of people did hold the sentiment to Henry Cejudo. I mean, he did retire back in May of 2020. I mean, why would he come back? He pretty much done everything he could, but it seems like he wants to beat Aljo, beat Sean O'Malley, and then move up in weight and beat Alexander Volkanovski. That seems to be his plan. Pretty ambitious goal, but nonetheless, that is his plan. And I think a lot of people agree with Aljo. A lot of people were doubting Henry Cejudo. I thought he was going to come back. I mean, why not?
And I know how much you want, you know, defend. You're in your backyard, but I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
I hope so, man. It's
You
gonna
know?
be a good show for the fans. That's all I care about. As long as it's a good show, I know I'm gonna make my money. I'm gonna do it in a good way and put on a good performance. And I'm sorry, man, but fortunately, this is how the game goes. You gotta crush another man's dreams, you know.
Well, Aljamain's here saying, hey, man, you know, respect, but I'm going to have to crush your dreams. Basically saying it's tough to root against you because at the end of the day, you do have an inspiring story, but at the end of the day, I got to go for myself and I got to win. And that's what he's saying here, and it is tough. You know, I'm sure both these guys do have a lot of respect for each other. And maybe if Aljo saw him fight a guy like Petr Yan for the belt, maybe he'd be rooting for Henry Cejudo. But in this case, obviously, Aljamain Sterling is going to be rooting for himself. And Henry Cejudo kind of shares the same sentiment and says, hey, I know you want to defend your title in your backyard, which he lives in New York, not New Jersey, but that's not the point. He's like, I know you want to defend your title, but, you know, it's just not going to happen. And honestly, this was a pretty awkward confrontation, I'm going to be honest. I mean, you could just tell Cejudo was just like, I don't want this guy to be here. And I'm not saying because he's afraid. I don't think he's afraid of Aljamain, of course, but it's just an awkward confrontation. Like, honestly, I don't even know how I would handle this. But I will say Sterling did seem very confident coming into the room. I mean, to me, we can't see who's behind him, but he's alone. You know, Henry is with his team. Just to have the courage to go in there with his team all there, but a friendly interaction between the two. And now I want to break down Henry Cejudo. He released some training footage just a couple days ago on his YouTube channel, and I'm going to break it down, react to it, and tell you what I think this could tell us about Henry Cejudo's game plan going into this fight. So what is going on here? Well, Henry Cejudo is now going to simulate fighting Aljamain Sterling, like to the T. So basically we're going to see Coach Eric, his coach. You know, we've seen him all around if you're an MMA fan. He's going to be introducing Henry Cejudo.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
He's walking out to his YouTube channel song, rolling with the triple C, I'ma make him bend the knee. But please don't walk out to this on fight night. Like, if you lose, that's just gonna be cringe. Like, I think if you're gonna walk out to a song that references yourself and references your nickname, I don't think you should walk out to it, but that's just my opinion. You know, maybe Aljamain will walk out to his own song that he did recently.
The former UFC flyweight champion, the former UFC bantamweight champion, the greatest combat athlete of all time, Henry!
Striker with a record of 22 wins, 3 losses. Standing 5'7", weighing at 135 pounds, fighting out of Uniondale, New York, Aljamain, the Funk Master!
What the hell? Henry Cejudo's team is going as far as literally announcing Aljamain Sterling. I mean, good God. I mean, hey, I trust the process. Like I said, Henry Cejudo genuinely is one of the best preparers for a fight. He reminds me of John Jones in a way, the way that he just studies film. He is a very prominent film watcher. You see it all the time. He does film breakdowns. He definitely knows the importance of it. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, that film watching is definitely one of the best ways to prepare for a fight. But we're going to get into them actually sparring and what is shown.
We're inching left and right. We're not.
A lot of grappling.
Keep him here. Minute 15.
The leg kick. And I'm going to go into this in the breakdown part of the video, but I think that leg kicks are going to be very important for Henry Cejudo when fighting this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision.
Why did he point to him?
Bantamweight champion of the world, the
Oh my God. Why? Why did they just make a belt? Okay. Alright, we've had enough, I think. Alright, so what did we learn from this? You know, like I said, Henry Cejudo, I don't think this first clip is indicative of him being scared. It's an awkward confrontation. Now, I think a lot of people are memeing him a little bit because, yes, he did look pretty shook, but it's an awkward confrontation. I would be probably awkward in that situation as well. Secondly, you know, we didn't really get to see Henry Cejudo spar so much, but it really goes to show you how much he's preparing for this. It reminds me of John Jones preparing for Cyril Gane. John Jones had 3 years to prepare for this guy. Not necessarily Cyril Gane, but to prepare to fight someone. And I think Henry Cejudo is doing the same thing, and I think it's actually maybe a good thing him to come back after 3 years. We've seen it with GSP. He arguably got better in some aspects, arguably got worse in others. We saw it with John Jones dominated Cyril Gane after coming back after 3 years. And we're going to see how Henry Cejudo does it, who actually did train with a John Jones. Let's get into the prediction part of this video, the part that you guys want to hear about. Who do I think will win and how? Guys, I think this is going to be a very, very close fight. I do not see this fight being easy for whoever wins this. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to go to the decision, first of all. And I'm done beating around the bush. I'm giving you my prediction. My prediction is that Aljamain Sterling is going to be Henry Cejudo. Now listen, Henry Cejudo is one of the best film watchers in the game, one of the best game planners to have. I think he's definitely going to try to kick the leg, and I don't think that he's going to try to have so much volume, but I think he's going to try to counter Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain does have a lot of volume going into fights, and we saw with Marlon Moraes in that fight. Yes, that happened a while ago, but Henry Cejudo was a little bit gun shy when Marlon Moraes was going after him, especially in that first round, trying to find a shot to put him down. I can see a scenario where Aljamain Sterling wins the first round based off volume, which is how he won the first round against Petr Yan. I think we're going to see Aljamain Sterling get dropped by Henry Cejudo at some point. I think that Henry is a guy that could land shots unexpectedly. Though he is pretty short, I think Aljamain is definitely going to get a little bit comfortable, maybe too comfortable, get off balance. I don't think it'll hurt him too much, but I think outside of those moments and maybe another round, I think Aljamain Sterling is going to win this fight. I think he's going to win it based on volume. And another dangerous thing about this fight is that, look, Henry Henry Cejudo is a phenomenal wrestler, but we've seen Aljamain's ground game. We've seen him control guys like TJ Dillashaw, although he was injured, but also Petr Yan. This guy is a high-level wrestler, especially since this neck surgery. And let's be real, you know, Henry Cejudo, although is great, is coming back after 3 years. Last fought Dominic Cruz. I don't feel so confident that this layoff was necessarily so good, especially when you see the bantamweight division get so much better. I mean, you have guys like Corey Sandhagen, Petr Yan, all winning titles, or I shall say all competing for titles. You know, the bantamweight division has been on fire. The top 5 is on fire, and if Henry Cejudo does come back and beats Aljamain Sterling clearly, that would be very impressive. I think we're going to see Aljamain throw a lot of front kicks, keeping him at range, moving around a lot, but I think Henry Cejudo should throw leg kicks, get Aljamain Sterling's movement a little slower, get on the inside a lot easier, use that in and out karate movement, and maybe he can get takedowns and control him a little bit. I think it is a little bit risky though, because Aljamain Sterling is a danger on the ground, but I just think that this is a bad time for Henry Cejudo to come back. He's been inactive, and Aljamain is the real deal. I know a lot of people shit on him, but he is genuinely a high-level fighter. So I'm going to go with Aljamain Sterling. I think he's going to get it done by decision, and I think a lot of people are going to be very impressed with this win. Hopefully there's no weird question mark asterisks around this win, because it seems like the Aljamain has had weird asterisks through past 30 wins. Look, guys, I'm very excited for this fight. Great main event. Honestly, I was a little so-so about this main event, but now it's fight week. I'm pumped. This is a high-level main event. If you guys want me to break down the co-main event between Gilbert Burns, Bilal Muhammad, let me know, and I will do that, but I probably will do that anyway. Let's be real. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are always very supportive. You guys are truly the best fan base in MMA. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.